All right, this is a first here on the HBCU Grad podcast. We have a graduate class on the podcast. And I want to start with Dr. John Gallagher. And I want you to briefly introduce yourself and then the class. And then we'll go around and have everyone introduce themselves, where they're from, a quick educational background, and then why you chose social work at HBCU and Morgan State University. So we'll start with you, Dr. Gallagher.
Excellent. And Todd, thank you so much for having my students and I here on the podcast. We're so happy to be here. This class is part of the MSW, the Master of Social Work program at Morgan State University. And it is the Juvenile Justice class, where we talk about a variety of issues related to the role of social work and social workers in reforming the juvenile justice system to help our youth and help our communities. And within this class, we are doing a service learning project. And service learning is a type of teaching that involves students, such as the four that we have here, doing a project. And the project in this situation is a training that we're going to be doing on Monday, April 24th, doing a project that gives back to the community. So specifically, we're doing on Monday, April 24th, from 5:30 p.m. to about 8:45 p.m., we're doing a training in collaboration with NASW, which is the National Association of Social Workers, the Maryland chapter. And the training is titled Juvenile Justice Reform Through a Compassionate and Empathetic Lens, a paradigm shift from what's wrong with the child to what has happened to the child. And it is a wonderful event. 100% of the profits are going to be donated to the Children's Home, which is located near Baltimore, Maryland. And the Children's Home is a great resource in our community that helps youth and families who have been impacted by a variety of issues, such as mental health disorders, addictions, trauma, and a variety of other issues. But the last point I make, and before we move into the student introductions, is this event is evolving. Number one, we're here on the podcast and so grateful to be here with you, Todd, to talk about it. Number two, we have Brooke Seam. She is a national mental health advocate, an author of a recent book titled May Cause Side Effects. It talks about potential withdrawal symptoms from antidepressant medication. And she also was on the Food Network show called Chopped. And so she was a reality TV star, and she actually won the Chopped Championship on this Food Network show. And then next, we recently found out that Dr. Jerome Adams, he is the 20th Surgeon General of the United States, has agreed to provide opening remarks to our presentation. So we invite any and everyone to attend this presentation. Surely social workers who are working in juvenile justice reform, this would be appropriate for them. But anyone who wants to learn, community members, your podcast listeners, anyone who wants to learn about modern contemporary issues related to juvenile justice reform, we invite you to attend. And again, all the profits are going to be donated to the Children's Home. Now, with that said, we have, celebrities, high-profile individuals. Brooke Seam, national mental health advocate. Obviously, Dr. Jerome Adams, the 20th Surgeon General of the United States, will be there. Obviously, a high-profile individuals. But I want to make it clear, the superstars of this event, the celebrities of this event, in my mind, are the four students that we have with us today. They are the superstars, the celebrities of this event. And I'm so happy to work with them on this project. And that I invited them, but that they agreed to be part of this project. So with that said, I will flip it to them where they can do their introductions, but they are the superstars of this event.
Way to get us going, Dr. Gallagher. That was good. So we'll start with Rebecca. Rebecca, introduce yourself. Tell me a little bit where you're from, a little bit of your educational background, and then why you chose social work in HBCU and Morgan State.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Rebecca Green. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. So a little bit about my education background. I received my first degree in criminal justice at Delaware State University for undergrad. And I've always grown up in HBCUs. My parents raised me at HBCUs. Both my parents went to Morgan, so HBCUs have always been in my blood, per se. So I wanted to go to Morgan, but I'm like, I wanted to leave Baltimore and get that independence kind of life. So after, I graduated from Del State, I'm like, okay, I want to go to Morgan now and follow my parents that I can see. And then I don't know, it's just the feeling that you go to a HBCU and the love that you don't get anywhere else. And that your professors generally care for you and they know your name. So I chose to do social work at Morgan State University because I wanted to pursue law, and because of my criminal justice background, what a lot of people don't understand is that sometimes people fall victim to their circumstances, and social work aids you with the resources and the services and teaches you how to empathize and how to be the voice for those that don't have a voice to be able to advocate for themselves. And I kind of just fell in love with it. Right now, I'm interning at the Circuit Court of Baltimore City within the courthouse. And I will say, every day I go to my internship and I fall in love with the work that I do every day. Be able to, help people tell their own stories that they're not able to articulate for themselves. Because really, some people just need help. And they don't always deserve to be punished for needing help. So, me wanting to pursue social work, urban social work at that, to help the voiceless be able to gain a voice and be that middleman to be able to speak up for them and just, shine a little light. And I know, in the world, a lot needs to be fixed, but I feel like a little beacon of light can change a lot. So that's basically my motivation, my why. And I just love HBCUs. I push HBCUs on everybody that everyone should go. It's just that different type of lifestyle, the different type of love that you don't get anywhere else. And I'm very blessed for Morgan State University for blessing me with my professors that I have, my cohort, my classmates, and even my past relationships at my undergrad. Blessing me with that family, my sorority, and all that in whole. So, thank you.
Thanks, Rebecca. What sorority are you a part of?
Dr. Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
Nice, nice, awesome. All right, Grace.
Hi, Todd. Thanks for having us. My name's Grace Parenti. I graduated undergrad from University of California in Berkeley, with a degree in American Studies, which was pretty broad. I kind of would say I didn't really know kind of what I wanted to do when I was in college. So after undergrad, I kind of took some time off, tried to self-reflect and explore my options. And I figured out and realized I've always had a passion for social justice and a fascination with mental health. So I found that social work was kind of the perfect intersection to pursue that. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, but I thought that that was the right path for me. So I came back to Baltimore because I'm originally from Baltimore. And honestly, I chose Morgan because I grew up right down the street. So I'm from Northeast Baltimore. My mom still lives in that house there. So it's just home to me, and I have such a love for Baltimore City. And I think it's very underrated, like we were talking about earlier. And I had heard just great things about Morgan's social work program. I wish I could say that when I decided to go to Morgan, that I fully understood the significance of getting a social work education at an HBCU. But at the time, it was more so about just that I knew it was such a good program. But now that I am getting that education from an African American perspective, especially in a majority Black city like Baltimore, I just realized how important and valuable the opportunity has been for me. I've learned so much. And just like Rebecca said, the professors and the cohort it is a different feel. And I can definitely attest to that, especially coming from such a big school like Berkeley, to such a small and just more community feel. I do feel very, very supported and in all of my classes. And it's been a wonderful experience and I really value it.
Awesome. What would you say about the difference in talent between Cal Berkeley and Morgan State?
Talent in regards to just academics or
The students. Do you think that HBCU students are just as talented as the ones at Cal
oh
Berkeley?
100%, 100%. I mean, I have met such smart and wonderful people in my experience at Morgan, and I think I've opened up my mind a lot more in going to Morgan, even though I was all the way across the country in Berkeley. I just think that Morgan fosters a more like open environment and for everyone to feel comfortable and safe and in talking. And I would say back when I was in undergrad, I mean, I was a lot younger back then and less experienced in that realm, but I was much less confident in speaking in class just because of the big class sizes. I felt that there was a bit of uh, I don't know, not like a snobbery, but just like a different feel in the class. Like you were scared to speak unless you knew for sure you were right. But in Morgan, I do not feel that at all. Like I feel very open, and everyone's perspectives are welcomed and supported, and that is a big difference for me in my experiences.
Thanks, Grace. All right,
Thank you.
Jocelyn.
Thanks again for having us. Hi, everyone. My name is Jocelyn Morton-Elzie. I began my education at Towson University. Originally, I'm from Delaware, and so I was just ready to get out of Delaware and to go somewhere new. I never knew that I would like Baltimore City so much, which was kind of why I decided to go to Morgan. In undergrad, I studied psychology, and that's when I fell in love with mental health and the clinical aspect of psychology and social work. Um, and so I knew that I wanted to continue my education, getting my master's, and being able to eventually become a therapist. I really want to be able to go back and be a therapist at a university because college students are just overlooked a lot of the time with their mental health. But as well at Morgan, I was afforded the opportunity to be able to work or to be able to intern with the child welfare system, which is something that I became very passionate about over the years of my education. And I really appreciate the opportunity that Morgan has given me to be able to kind of begin the work while I'm still in school to understand the processes that are going on and to be able almost to plan like how I'm going to be effective in my career going forward.
Awesome. When you're in Baltimore when it's beginning of school, you don't real I didn't realize how much of a college town Baltimore was. I didn't even realize Towson was around Baltimore than Morgan State. We were in Walmart walking around like it was just college people everywhere.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes. Awesome. Well, thanks, Jocelyn. All right. Adebambo.
Good afternoon. Thank you. My name is Adebambo Adeylga, and my education career began from Nigeria. So I was born and raised in Lagos, Nigeria, and I attended Ogun State University, now called Olabisi Onabanjo University. My undergrad was in pure chemistry. I never I never knew I would end up being a social worker. So I started with chemistry. And when I moved to United States, I enjoyed the culture, the atmosphere. So I really wanted to give to the community, help the youth, and contribute to the community. So I joined the United States Army. So I am an Army veteran. So while I was in Fort Riley, Kansas, I pursued my master's in business administration because I feel that even though with the army. We are helping uh, the community as well, even though we're federal, being an active military. I really wanted to contribute to what is going on to help the children in the community. So I decided to join the HBCU. And the reason joining the HBCU is looking at their academic excellence, the competitiveness that HBCU have, and the cultural connectedness that they have with the community. So, and I joined Morgan State University because I believe um, this is where I can prioritize the culture and feel the need of what I actually need to satisfy my curiosity and to really help the community and the juvenile in need. So, and I really want to use my experience to make a difference in the life of others. So that is one of my major reasons why I wanted to become a social worker. And having a chemistry background with my military experience and now being a social worker, I think I have all the experiences that I need to serve the juvenile in my community and to help the juvenile in my community. And this was one of the reasons why I chose my ASP as urban youth, family and children, urban children, youth and family, to actually focus on families and children that are actually in need.
Awesome. Thank you, Adebambo. Tell me this, Adebambo. How did Lagos get so popular? Has this been happening for a long time? I've been noticing Lagos has been everywhere lately, like over the last 3 to 5 years. Has the community always been there and they decided to kind of export the culture? Or what have you seen being in America and being from Lagos and seeing how Lagos is on TV and kind of everywhere in the media right now?
Well, Lagos is called the center of excellence in Nigeria.
Mm.
That used to be the capital of Nigeria before it was moved to Abuja.
Okay.
Being the capital, that is where we have all the infrastructures, investments. So everything goes on in Lagos. That's why they call it a center of excellence. So Lagos is so popular because it has always been in existence right from day one. Nigeria, when they started with the state, Lagos is one of the states that was created. Now Nigeria is 36 states. Before it was 24 states. So um, Lagos is one of the states that was created first.
Mhm.
So it's really, really popular because this is where you see most of our influencers, most of uh, most of the people that well, this is where they live, and everything happened in Lagos pretty much.
All right. Sounds good. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing that.